Aries. It's a general reading for December. We're going to try to pick up on the energies that are moving through Aries right now. The Eight of Wands. This is your primary energy. The wands say movement. The wands say energy flowing. Wands are passion. Wands are fire. Wands are action. So it's very Aries. I'm not sure if this is in your past or in your present, but there is some sort of feeling of disappointment here about something. Seems like, all right, I was in the middle of saying something and we just had 3 cards pop out. You've got the Chariot. We've got the Two of Pentacles. That could be indecision. It's not necessarily a bad card. We also have the Empress here. The Empress brings blessings. She's associated with Venus. Of course, the ruling planet for Aries is Mars, so Venus is your opposite. There might be something here like a roadblock. There might be something here like an energy that you're forced to confront. So the Empress wants things to grow. The Empress cultivates. The Empress pushes things to blossom. So there's something that wants to grow in your life, but it looks like you might not be willing to grow in that direction. Maybe you're being a little bit stubborn about something or a little bit impatient about something. Things haven't worked out the way that you wanted them to work out. And life might be asking you to shift directions in order to grow, which is not what Aries does very well. When Aries wants something, it goes in a straight line for it. It moves in that direction. It doesn't zigzag back and forth. It looks to me like the energies are telling you you have to zigzag. You kind of have to go in a roundabout way to get what you want, which might not be the best thing for you, especially with this Two of Pentacles here. There literally might be some blockages to what you want. Your usual method of doing things isn't working, but with the Chariot here, the Chariot is granting you this capacity for moving on in a new direction. So this isn't all bad, especially with the Eight of Wands being the primary energy. The Eight of Wands is movement. The Eight of Wands is change. There seems to be something asking you to change here. You're feeling stuck, perhaps. Maybe you're thinking about something. Maybe you realize that you've got to do something a bit differently and you're kind of sitting around strategizing, looking at your options. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Got this in reverse. There might actually be a need to seek out some help. You might be trying to do this all on your own, which might not work out well for you. It might be too that you've lost something. It might be that you've lost money. It might be that you've lost a job, something tangible. With the Chariot and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, I mean, I could see this as somebody being forced to get a new car or somebody having car issues. I mean, you've got the Two of Pentacles here. This guy looks like he's kind of walking around. That's not for everybody. Some of you may have just lost some money. Some of you might have actually been gambling with the Two of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. You can see this guy kind of trying to put his money in a few different places. There might have been some strange investments, and the Nine of Pentacles just didn't work out for you. It put you in a pretty bad place. So some of you made some bad investments. Some of you might literally have been gambling. Some of you might have just been spending your money in things that you didn't need. But despite your disappointments, or maybe because of them, your life wants to change directions. The energies are coming in to kind of help you shift, help you turn things around. I do keep saying this message of investing your money or investing resources or even your time into something where it's kind of like you're splitting your resources. You're splitting your time between a few different things, and that's not working out well for you. Yeah, there's an indication here to focus on one thing at a time, to focus on a single direction. For some of you who are splitting your money, that's actually going to bring you more money if you just invested in one particular place that you feel secure with. But there is an indication here of financial insecurity. Maybe that's what's bumming you out. Maybe that's why you're here in your feelings with the Four of Cups. You do have the King of Cups here. So this is actually a lesson that you're going to learn, which is definitely going to bring a lot of maturity for you. So let's say it this way. There have been some disappointments. Let's not focus on what they are exactly right now. Let's just say there have been some disappointments which have made you feel insecure and have made you feel like you need to go out and claim something for yourself. Like some of you are just not seeing your life working out the way that you planned, working out the way that you'd hoped. You wanted to be independent. You wanted to be financially secure. You wanted to be able to kind of live your own life. I see an indication here that some of you were just like kind of happy to be single, kind of happy to be independent maybe, that you value your independence, that you value your ability to solve problems on your own. I mean, all of these cards in the center here denote somebody who's on their own, who's in their own power. But in the first position, you're stubbornly on your own. You're dealing with something, some disappointment that you're not letting other people in, processing things by yourself in solitude. Let's say you might be going home and brooding, like going out to a coffee shop or to a park or something, sitting by yourself thinking, why doesn't anything work out for me? I feel a sense of loss here, something material. Some of you did lose a job. Some of you lost a stream of income. Some of you have lost a lot of money, but some of you just aren't in the place that you hoped you would be. So it's not necessarily that you've lost something physical, but it's like you lost the dream of having some type of material security. Or you lost the dream of having some sort of position that you really wanted. You know, when I was younger, I really had this dream of having my own space, having my own house, having my own apartment, working, and just kind of being independent. I like being alone. And I remember the kind of almost embarrassment that I felt whenever I had to get a roommate and just feeling like, I can't do things on my own. This sucks. And I'm only using that as an example just to kind of paint this picture of there's something material that you wanted. There's something tangible that you could have had, or maybe that you did have, but maybe just that you wanted to have, and you're not getting it, or you didn't get it, or it's not developing in the way that you wanted. There is a lesson here that you have to learn. Possibly about independence, possibly related to money, possibly related just to managing your emotions in the midst of a crisis. Because cups are all about emotion. So if you're starting off with the Four of Cups and you're ending with the King of Cups, you can see there's an emotional transformation here. There's an emotional lesson that's being learned. And that emotional lesson is being learned through some type of crisis, which is rather tangible. All right, I could see this even as somebody who wants to move out on their own, but they can't yet, right? You might be younger, wishing you could get out of your parents' house, but you can't, right? There's that feeling of like, I really have this dream. I really have this place I want to get to. Why am I not getting there? But again, the energy that's running through all of this is the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is this change, this energy that's forcing some type of movement in a certain direction. You might find your problems resolving themselves much faster than you had even anticipated. With the Chariot, the Two of Pentacles, and the Empress here, these are the cards that jumped out of the deck. I can see almost an opportunity to move into something new, or to move into a direction that involves you learning something new, or that might be a little bit scary or a little bit daunting at first, but which opens up a lot of possibilities for you. I mean, the Two of Pentacles to me always suggests some type of insecurity. I know a lot of people focus on the fact that you've got two pentacles. A lot of people say you might have two choices, or might have two opportunities, or you might have multiple options. But I always notice the waves in the background. I always notice his uncertain stance. He's got one foot up, one foot down. He's kind of in between things. To me, the card always feels very uncertain. And so yes, you might get multiple options, you might get different opportunities, but you're not going to feel certain about them. You're not going to feel all that secure, maybe in yourself or in your skills. I could see this as a new job opportunity for some of you, where you have to learn something new, where you go through a period of struggling before you feel comfortable. I could also see this as an opportunity to move, physically move locations, but it's going to cost you money, and it's going to lead to some more financial insecurity than you may already be experiencing. But that there is some type of blessing here for you. There's some type of energy that wants to cultivate growth for you at the deepest level. Because sometimes you need new ground to cultivate something new. You know, in a lot of societies, they would rotate where they grow their crops. They'll grow their crops in one plot of land one year, and the next year in an adjacent plot of land, they'll grow their crops and they'll leave this one to kind of recover. Sometimes you need to do that in life. You can't constantly be trying to grow things in the same place, in the same area of comfort. Sometimes you need to move someplace new for a season, for a year. But I also see with this Empress and the King of Cups here, that there might be a relationship involved for some of you, where at the moment, there are some tensions in your relationship, right? There's this Four of Cups and this Chariot that's telling you you need to take ownership over your own life. Some people say that the Chariot is like the spirit entering the body. It's like spirit and flesh in union. And so in that, it's kind of like, get out of your thoughts for a second, get out of your feelings, allow yourself to kind of reconnect with your sense of purpose, and reconnect even with your sense of dreams, and even kind of imagine the impossible. So let's see, what is the likely outcome for Aries? We've got the King of Wands. So you really are being called to transform here. The King of Wands, this is one of the most interesting cards in the deck to me. This is a card that I always get for my own personal readings. It's a card that I associate with my spirit guide personally. The King of Wands is fire. Aries is fire. This is you. This is associated sort of with Scorpio and Sagittarius in Kabbalah. Scorpio shares a ruling planet with Aries, right? And so if the planet Mars rules over both signs, both Aries and Scorpio, but obviously the two signs do things differently. Mars in Aries is direct. It goes for what it wants directly. Mars in Scorpio is more strategic. It's a bit quieter. It's a bit more subtle. So you might have to start off this way, kind of tempering your impatience, tempering your natural explosiveness. With Aries, I often find they're very blunt. They're very self-assured, and they'll just dive into something. And Mars in Scorpio kind of tells you, be a little bit careful. Think before you leap. Think before you talk, right? With your actions, be careful, be subtle. But then, of course, the King of Wands starts off in Scorpio and goes into Sagittarius. And so that could tell you, like, if you take this approach of kind of tempering your natural fire, then as you go, as you continue on your path, the strengths and the skills that you have are actually going to bloom at an elevated level. Sagittarius is considered to be like a higher level of the fire sign. So all of your natural gifts as an Aries, which are beautiful, like I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm very envious of Aries people always. I wish I could be like them. I wish I could be as blunt. I wish I could be as courageous. But I mean, here you're being told, don't be so courageous. Don't just go straight for something. Be quiet and go at a slower pace. Be cautious as you move forward. The thing about Sagittarius versus Aries is that Sagittarius kind of transforms the fire into something that can be used, not just for yourself, but for the benefit of other people. So this King of Wands is really telling you, it's time to grow up. It's time to transform. Yes, you've got talents. Maybe, yes, you've got like a go-getter attitude. Or maybe you really just are a master over something already. Some of you might already have mastered something and you have to move on and be humble again. And now you have to learn something new and you have to humble yourself, which might not feel very good. So here's what I see. There is change coming for you. There is an energy that is trying to propel you in a certain direction or get you to move in a new direction. There might be some disappointments here in the recent past regarding money, regarding a job, regarding resources, regarding time, regarding the loss of a vision or the failure to achieve some dream. Or this might be yet to come. This might be a crisis you're about to face. You're being called to grow up. You're being called to transform. The emotions that you have right now, I don't know how else to put it, they're childish emotions. You need to go from this child, this adolescent, brooding over his emotions. Remember, there's no gender in the cards. I'm just saying he to kind of simplify things. But you need to grow out of that. This tendency for impatience, this tendency to just want what you want right now. I want this, why can't I have it? That kind of thing. And you're being told to mature. You see, you go from the Four of Cups, this guy all disappointed, all in his feelings, to the King of Cups. This guy's in his power. This guy knows what he wants. This guy knows what he feels. He's in touch with his emotions, but he doesn't let them control him. The likely outcome here is a beautiful transformation for you, where you actually take your natural Aries energy, where you actually take your natural gifts that you already have, whatever they might be, right? You might be good at music. You might be good at public speaking. You might be good with your hands. You might be good at building, whatever it is. You're going to reach a new level of mastery. You might even have to learn something new that causes you to gain more mastery over whatever it is that you're doing, or even in a new field. And it doesn't even have to be a major shift. The Chariot demands movement, but the Chariot wants to conquer new territory. Notice behind him is that conquered city in the background. That's what he's already done. That's his achievement. He's leaving it behind, and he's looking for new territory to conquer. There might be a period here of instability, of insecurity, as you kind of move into new territory. And again, this is all part of the process. This is all part of taking your natural gifts and evolving them from, just symbolically speaking, Aries to Sagittarius, right? From a youthful, rudimentary kind of fire into a more elevated, spiritual kind of fire. And so one is more about self-service. One is more about what can I get? Where's my place? What can I have? And the other one's more about being of service to others, but it might just be more philosophical, right? You're kind of growing up here mentally and emotionally. So this is a period of a transition for you. Some of you really might be between jobs. Some of you might be leaving home for the first time. Some of you might be facing some marital difficulties, perhaps associated with money, but not necessarily. The point is that you're at one level emotionally. You're being prompted to grow out of that level through some type of crisis, through some type of insecurity, setting your sights in a new direction in order to become something that is more resilient over time and something that is more evolved in its outlook and its perspective, that can take in a broader view of the world. You're being forced to leave home. You're being forced to leave the comfort of something. And this might be happening quickly. I mean, with the wands are fast. So this might just be happening over this December, or maybe over just a few weeks. I'm personally just trying to flesh this out so I can give you as much detail as possible about what's happening inside of you psychically or emotionally or whatever. But this could be a quick transformation. It doesn't have to be drawn out. It doesn't have to be a long process. So that is what I have for you today, Aries. I hope some of this resonated with you. I do love you, Aries. You're one of my favorite extrovert signs in the entire zodiac. So I hope everything does work out for you. I hope this isn't a long, trying process. And if you got anything out of this video, quick reminder to like. That way other people can find it and get something out of it as well. Or you can always subscribe to the channel and we can see each other again. So until then, good luck, Aries.